It's curtains. Scene 1. Antonio sits alone in his apartment. It is cluttered and filled with oddities. A taxidermied weasel, a framed antique kite, different types of rope. An old Eagle Scouts uniform hangs from a hook by the door. There are sound-canceling panels on the walls. Antonio stands, muttering to himself as he combs his hair in a mirror while the TV is on.
More on the mayor later. And at 10, we'll bring you an exclusive interview with Detective Claude Claverie on their hunt for the serial killer targeting our community's most polarizing new artist. SoundCloud rappers? I don't want to leave you hanging, but we need to go to commercials.
Richard, that was in poor taste.
I don't think he's eating them. Anyway, stay tuned. You're watching KMO.
Antonio mutes the TV. He talks to himself.
Don't be nervous. It's just a date. It'll be good to get out. Remember what you've been practicing.
Cue music.
Just say, hello, it's nice to meet you. My name's Antonio. I like normal things like knot tying. Hannibal is my favorite show. As you can see, I'm normal as can be. So please go on another date with me. No. You can't only talk about yourself. Be more conversational. Hey, it's so good to meet you. I live down by the bay. What do you like as a person? How about this weather? If you want something, I'll pay. As you can see, I'm normal as can be. So please go on another date with me. That was better. You were normal. You got this. Be sure to ask about them as well. Being anxious isn't abnormal, so don't get rigid and formal. Just say, hi, it's...
SoundCloud beats start on off beats.
Great to meet you. I'm Antonio. Sorry, I'm awkward. Don't date much. I like...
Distracted by loud beats, cuts his losses and moves on to next line.
As you can see, I'm normal as can be. So please shut the fuck up. Oh my God, it's almost 11. This is an apartment building with other people. I hope you're next.
Scene 2. Antonio sits at a table in a cafe. Camille enters and makes her way towards him. Her arm is in a cast.
Oh, hi there. My name's Antonio. Camille, right?
Yep, that's me.
Camille sits down.
Did you make it here okay? Didn't run into any serial killers, I hope.
I mean, yeah, here I am. It was only a 2-minute walk from my apartment, and luckily, no, I don't think I did.
How serendipitous. My apartment is also a 2-minute walk away. So we have that in common.
Nice.
17th floor of 5458 47th Street.
Wait, same actually. What are the odds?
I mean, probably fairly high. Several hundred people live in that building, and Tinder said we were within a mile of each other. Although the odds are substantially lower that we would be on the same floor, if that's what you mean. Can you hear that god-awful SoundCloud rapper from your apartment?
Sometimes. He's pretty loud.
I'll say, what a nuisance. What happened to your arm? Are you okay?
I broke it trying to help a friend move their sofa. My hand also got pretty hurt, so now I can't even tie my own shoes, but I gotten used to it.
I'm sorry, but that's good, I guess. So, how about this weather?
I mean, it's pretty typical for this time of year.
Yes, exactly. Precisely my thoughts too.
Cool.
Yes, 52 degrees according to my weather app.
Right.
What are you like as a person?
What?
Like, as a person, what do you like?
As opposed to not a person? I don't know. I used to say I was an ambivert, but I'm probably just an introvert. I like true crime podcasts, but I'm also a prison abolitionist and a feminist. I used to sail in college.
Wow, we have so much in common. I'm also skeptical of prisons, at least in their current form. I like Hannibal, which isn't true crime, but it's true crime adjacent. And while I've never sailed, I like knot tying, which is sailing adjacent.
It is.
I'd say so. Sailors hitch knots, lots of knots with sailor in the name.
Fascinating.
I think so too. There's the gripping sailor's hitch and the Cherrick bend, and while also there's this known as the sailor's breastplate, and then there's
Sorry, I think I'm getting a call. Just wanted to check to make sure everything's okay.
Camille pulls her cell phone from her pocket and holds it to her ear.
Hi, is everything okay? Oh no, are you okay? Yeah, okay. See you then.
Returns phone to pocket.
I'm so sorry, but my friend is having a personal emergency and I really think I should go be with her.
Yes, of course I understand. Take care.
Camille exits. Scene 3. Antonio is back in his apartment. He wears pajamas. He happily talks to himself as he tidies it up.
Wow, what a date. I think that actually went really well. And to think, all this time she just lived down the hall. I wonder.
Beats from the SoundCloud rapper begin, loudly. Antonio is clearly bothered by them.
11:52. Geez, couldn't they do this any earlier? Just shut up!
A thud is heard. The SoundCloud rapper's beats stop.
Thank you.
Antonio climbs into bed and turns off his lamp. Darkness. Scene 4. Antonio sleeps in his bed. A loud knock at the door. He jolts awake and turns on his lamp. He goes to the door and opens it. Detective Claverie stands through the doorframe, holding their badge.
Good morning. I'm Detective Claverie. Are you Antonio Becker?
Yes?
I thought so. Would you mind answering a few questions for me, Antonio?
All right.
Do you know your next door neighbor, Mr. Patrick Purcell?
Well, let's just say I've heard of him. Heard him. All the time.
Oh? Do you dislike Mr. Purcell?
I mean, I don't know him personally, but his pathetic attempts at rapping and sound mixing have cost me countless nights of sleep. He's the reason I got these noise-canceling panels.
I see. Could you tell me, Antonio, what you did last night?
Well, I went on a date earlier around dinner, and then I came back and watched some TV while not tying before going to bed just before midnight.
That's right. Camille did say you tied knots. And what time did you get home?
Certainly by 9 at the latest.
And nobody was with you between then and when you went to bed?
Oh, sorry, but could you tell me why you're asking me these questions?
Well, Mr. Becker, I'm afraid your neighbor, Mr. Purcell, is no longer with us. He's been killed, knocked out, then hanged. And it looks like it's another killing by this serial killer targeting SoundCloud rappers. Security cameras in the building stairwells and elevators show that nobody went in or out of this floor between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. So we know the murderer was on this floor. Everyone on the floor, except that poor girl with her arm in a cast, is a suspect. Given you lack an alibi and tie knots, I'd expect to be hearing more from me in the department.
You don't actually think I killed him?
Good day, Mr. Becker.
Detective closes the door and leaves. Scene 5. Antonio, clearly nervous, paces the floor's lobby, by the elevator and door to the stairs. Camille enters from the stairway and makes her way to her door. Antonio bumps into her.
Ow, my cast.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Are you okay?
Yeah, I guess.
Did you tell the detective that I tie knots? Apparently I'm a suspect. Me. Can you believe that?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. The detective interrogated me too, and I just answered her questions. But she realized that I couldn't have knocked him out or tied the noose or hanged him given, well, this.
Camille raises her cast.
Detective said must be that serial killer, but I don't believe that. What if it's a copycat killer?
Oh, I listened to a podcast about Eddie Seda, the guy who copied the Zodiac killer 20 years later in New York. But what makes you think it isn't just the serial killer?
I don't know. Just a thought. But say, since you're so into true crime podcasts, would you be interested in trying to help me solve this one? I need to clear my name. I realize that I don't know the other people on this floor at all. And so we could go around and try to suss out who the real killer is.
It might be fun to do some real life sleuthing.
Great. Should we start with this door? Do you know this one?
No, but I've seen her. I've got this.
Camille rings suspect number 3's door. Suspect number 3 opens it.
Hi, remember me? I was beginning to think you'd forgotten all about me.
Oh, hi there. Yes, wow. It really must have been a while.
Too long, to be sure.
Are you two dating?
More importantly, were you still dating? You know? Are you doing okay?
Oh, Patrick. Yes, I'm fine. We were always on again, off again. I dumped him 6 weeks ago. Then we got back together. And then he dumped me, but naturally I couldn't let things end that way, so I made sure we got back together 2 weeks ago. And I convinced him it would be different this time. And it was. I dumped him for good.
Jeez, you do know he just died, right?
Oh yes, I did hear. I know this sounds terrible, but by the end of it, especially after how he humiliated me, I never wanted to see him again. Now I never will. There's always a silver lining. Okay, imagine your worst ex. Now, make that 10 times worse. My feelings towards him aren't complex. I'm barely sad he's in a hearse. I only am because we're suspects. Imagine your chagrin so you can picture mine. Mortification or something akin at finding his songs on your timeline. How bad the teasing from friends has been. He's saying, "She broke my heart just like you break an egg into a frying pan." He rapped, "I dated her, I hated her, I rated her a 7 out of 11. I was less offended by what he said than by his stupidity. Seriously, who rates things on a scale to 11? Imagine my surprise at hearing of his death, the conflict I felt. That you can surmise. Did he curse my name with his dying breath? Date a SoundCloud rapper. This is your prize.
Wait, you're saying you're glad he's dead because he wrote cringy music about you?
Correct.
Yeah, I get that. I'm so sorry, but I think we have to be on our way now. Take care.
Ta-ta!
Suspect number 1 returns into their apartment and closes the door.
Well, that was a lot. Do you think it's her?
Wait, let's wait and talk to the last suspect before we jump to conclusions.
Antonio knocks on suspect number 2's door.
Come in.
Antonio and Camille enter suspect number 2's apartment. There are piles of books everywhere. Lots of cat-themed decor, too. Suspect number 4 sits in a rocking chair reading, with a cat on their lap.
Hello, it's lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. You have a nice collection of books here.
Yes, one for every friend I never had, I always say.
Right. I also don't think we've ever met. I'm Camille. We're just going around to check to make sure that everyone's doing all right after the disturbing events of last night.
Oh, yes, right out of one of my Agatha Christie novels. The detective really was quite dashing, too. Couldn't stay long enough, honestly. I was enjoying our chat.
Chat?
Interrogation chat. Who's to say? I just enjoyed the company.
Really? You enjoyed the interrogation? Forgive me for asking, but what's your deal? I've never seen you around the building. How often do you get out?
My story is a long one, so please make yourself comfortable. Can I interest you in tea or coffee? No? Sit back and enjoy the show.
They set down their book and pick up an accordion. Cue music.
I grew up as an only child, was 17 when I first smiled. My parents left, never made amends. In foster homes, books were my only friends. I I studied to be a grammarian, no jobs in that. Now a librarian, but no one reads real books anymore. The library is emptier than a closed bookstore. I don't go out, I stay in. My only company's my dear cat Herman. Call me Ahab chasing my great white whale, but my search for company has been to no avail.
I'm sorry to hear that. I know what it's like to be lonely, so
So very lonely, so very lonely.
Right. If you like reading, did the SoundCloud rapper next door ever bother you with how loud he was?
I lost hearing in one of my years. That memory brings tears. It's been 10 years. Never heard or met the fellow next door. The nice detective thought I was a bore.
Gotcha. Well, it's been lovely chatting, but I think we should be on our way.
The cat jumps off suspect number 2's lap, and they stand up. Suspect number 2 starts moving to try to block Antonio and Camille from leaving, but they get to the door at the same time and manage to open it and leave.
Please don't go out. Please stay in. Be my company like dear old Herman.
Antonio and Camille make it through the door and close it as the music can still be softly heard through the door before dejectedly fading. They run through the lobby and into the stairwell.
Wow, that was terrifying.
I'll say. So now, who do you think it was?
Footsteps echo in the stairwell. Detective Claverie enters.
Good. Becker, there you are. Get into the lobby and don't go anywhere.
The detective knocks on the other suspect doors and ushers them both into the lobby.
All right, now listen closely. I'll only say this one time. The key to solving this heinous crime is what were each of you doing last night?
I know this may not help my case, but once I was done drying my face from tears, I texted him, my ex, the one who's ex in all respects, and told him I wished he was dead. Of course, I regret what I said. Did I mean it literally? No. That's just how my breakups go. But I can see how that would make me suspicious.
Hun, believe me, we've all been there. But yeah, in this context, that does make you seem really guilty. Next!
I don't go out, I stay in. My only company's my dear cat Herman. Not a morning person, reading at night is prime. I do have an alibi. Herman was with me the whole time.
Alibis have to be human. Herman is a literal cat. Whatever. Next!
Hello, it's nice to see you. My name's Antonio.
I know your name.
I just stayed in doing knot tying, watching Hannibal, my favorite show. As you can see, I'm normal as can be. So please, 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 please do not arrest and charge me.
As each suspect is sung, they've nervously done a sort of dance move in place. Now, the music picks up into a jazzier swing, and they all dance around the spots in which they've been interviewed. Eventually, the music slows down.
We may not have good alibis.
But that doesn't mean we kill guys.
Oh, now you know what we were doing last night.
All right, all you suspects, follow me down to the ground floor lobby so they can take your fingerprints. Follow me.
The detective exits through the stairwell. Antonio nervously salutes Camille, then Antonio and suspects number 1 and 2 follow the detective off stage. Camille remains on stage alone. She starts to itch her arm. She looks around to make sure no one is around. Then she breaks open the cast along a certain scene. She removes it, shakes her arm, and wriggles her fingers. She turns to the audience, smirks, raises one finger to her lips. Curtains. Scene. Curtains open. Camille and Antonio are alone in the lobby. Camille is wearing her cast again.
I think it was his ex. She seemed happy he was dead.
Maybe, but she almost seems too obvious. And I've been thinking, I know it wasn't you, and I'd feel bad if you went to prison. Do you think we should just frame someone just to make sure they don't go with you?
Antonio is stunned by this proposal, but before he can respond, the echo of footsteps returns from the stairwell. The detective re-enters with 2 officers.
Oh my God, it's too late. They're here to make an arrest.
Suspect number 2 flings open their door and runs out. They're hysterical and their cheeks are wet.
I confess, I did it. Take me to prison.
Everybody is stunned.
Come on, arrest me.
Suspect number 2 runs up to the detective and kicks their knee.
Ah, now you have to arrest me.
The officers handcuff suspect number 2 and begin to lead them out.
Woo! Finally, I'll be surrounded by new friends. I can start fresh. Work in the prison library with a captive readership. Feed Herman for me.
The officers escort suspect number 2 out.
Well, I guess that's our guy. The forensics were inconclusive, but I guess we got a confession. All right, Becker. Looks like you're off the hook. Nice meeting you.
The detective exits through the stairwell. Camille and Antonio stand in stunned silence.
Well, that was unexpected.
A fresh start. Hey, listen, I'm glad you aren't getting locked up and you aren't quite whatever as I thought you were at first.
Oh?
Do you want to go out for another date?
I'd love to.
I'm free now if I can just change this and get another jacket for my apartment.
Go right ahead.
They walk towards Camille's apartment and she opens it. Inside, there is a map of the city with red X's marking the locations of the serial killer's murders. There's a large amount of rope in the corner. Antonio, stunned, turns around to take it all in. Camille takes off her cast and puts on a raincoat.
Ew.
Yes, of course you'd know that this last murder wasn't your work, but you gave yourself away.
You're the ones who's been copying me. A quarter of the murders they say are me, but have been you all along. I should have known. It's you. It's always been you. Across the floor, behind the door.
It's you. It's always been you, just down the hall, then through the wall.
It was you, tying my tongue in knots, sort of heartburn from your grip on my aorta.
It was you who I kept hearing about on the news, how amusing to choose to accuse my unbeknown muse.
It was you, is you.
Always you, forever you.
Past, present, and future too.
How could I live alone so long?
With my body,
My Clyde.
4 doors down all along. We can be life partners in crime, together, all the time.
Or as much as we please, sharing our time and our killing sprees. Imagine. Across town, synchronized, identical murders.
Mimicry skills, anything but amateurs. You're a copycat killer. 1 in a million. Forgive the bad pun. A real chameleon.
Jazriff here for dance.
Still can't believe it was you.
It was me, but also you.
Also me.
Always you, always me.
It was me and you. Is me and you.
Always me and you. Forever me and you.
Because it's us and it'll always be us.
End scene. Come out for bows, everyone. And that's curtains.